go. So that's the side stand, sorry, the centre stand spring. You notice it's a double sprung arrangement. So there's a small spring in the middle and a large spring on the outside. So this is only on the left hand side of the bike. And as we go on, you will see why I think this is the reason why there's been a failure. So it's not particularly easy to show under the bike because unfortunately, in my wisdom, I haven't got a hydraulic lift that lifts just the chassis rails of the bike. And my workbench is primarily aimed at using a centre stand. So, can't do that. So what I think's happened is the bolt on this side has unscrewed itself and fallen out, and then on this side it's actually physically twisted and bent the metal underneath the bike. So I've straightened that metal up so that everything's all square. However, this was also bent out of position, and as you can see there is only one weld here, and that is on the side that is bent, so it's effectively bent on that weld. So pushing it back, it's effectively like, as you can see, pushing it back is effectively like doing a ring pull, so, and it just broke off. So I don't weld, but I know a man who does, so I will get that sorted. So why do I think this happened? This is all going to be guesswork, but as you've probably guessed from other things in the background of my videos, I'm also working on bicycles. Now on bicycles you get a lot of anti-clockwise bolts, and they are there to prevent rotational forces undoing the bolt as you ride. Now interestingly, this spring here is on this side, and this bolt stayed secure. This bolt unscrewed itself. So what I think's happened here is as the stand's gone up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down all the time, this has just put a slow acting on this bolt, and it's gone over time. And because the bike's only done 2,500 miles, I barely think, if it has been serviced, it's probably had the quick once over, it's fine, it's only done a couple of thousand miles, what you worried about, my friend? And someone hasn't gone underneath and done the basics like check the tightness of the bolts. But what I've also noticed is these threads are incredibly soft. I actually bought some OEM bolts and tried them, and they did this on the first tightening. So what I'm going to do is I've ordered some stainless steel bolts, and I'm going to tap out the threads to make sure they're completely clean before I reinstate these. Because what you have effectively is this washer here. So to reinstall the centre stand, you place the collar inside there, and then the bolt goes through there and tightens up. So that's how it all goes together. I think that's why this failure happened. Just a lack of maintenance on the bike, because it is what it is. It's got anti-clockwise threads are on a motorbike, as you know, they're on the wing mirrors, so it's not an uncommon thing. But clearly, for production purposes, and this is not the most expensive bike in the world, is it? So for production purposes, I think this is done this way, and this is an anticipated piece of maintenance, that this bolt should be checked for its security and tightened when the bike's serviced. So there's a lesson for you: maintain your bike or risk writing it off. So as the bike's being taken apart and put back together again, I think it's going to make a great deal of sense to clean this corrosion off and then repaint the centre stand so it goes back together. It looks nice, even though you're not really going to go underneath to have a look, are you? But it's nice to have it. It's nice to be nice. And these things, when they're clean and rust free, clearly it's going to last longer, which saves you buying a new part. So here we have the centre stand, fully refurbished, fully reinstalled, back on the bike. This was ripped off before, and that's why the reason why the bike was a write-off. So it was, I use my screwdriver as a pointer. This bolt here was absolutely fine. It's the bolt on the other side that had come undone, and as a result caused the failure. So, a couple of tips on doing this if you're going to do this yourself. So, what I did to reinstall the spring is, if you've seen one of these before, this is a tool to work on drum brakes, and I use this attachment here underneath the spring to lever it back into position. What I found was that this, well, I mean, I didn't have the strength to use it, so I just couldn't make it work. Fine for the small spring, absolutely fine for the small spring there, but for the large spring, no good. For doing up the nuts, well, I learned the hard way. Don't use this to tighten up your nuts or any form of power tool. They will simply over tighten and strip threads. So you can just use this to make a start, or just use your socket set and then tighten it up and finish off with the relevant torque setting on the torque driver. Thanks for watching my little video on the AJS Modena 125. The first of a few, I think. There's not going to be a massive amount more to do on this one, but it's mainly about servicing and checking the vehicle, making sure it's all fully safe. But yeah, it's a nice hobby. So, if you've liked what you've seen, don't forget to like, comment, and if you really want to and you're a really lovely person, click that subscribe button and it will help the channel out fantastically.